Well, hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Saturday morning video regarding real estate in your real estate hub. For those of you who are watching inside my community, thank you for being a part of this. I hope you're finding this information valuable. And I want to encourage you to add friends and family, especially as these topics come up. If there's anyone in your life that you know that this can benefit them, please feel free to add them to the group, tag them in the video, because that's really the whole goal here is to give information to help people make confident decisions. If you are new to me, maybe you're watching this on YouTube, my name is Alyssa Harriman, and I'm a real estate agent here in the Simcoe, Muskoka region. I tend to work mostly inside Simcoe North and Muskoka. However, I do have across Canada, even down into the US network. So if you're not within my area and you're looking for some support, let me know. I can connect you with an agent that is a high performer inside your market and make sure you get connected with the right person. We are going to talk about your first home journey and really just give some information, some guidance for any of you who are thinking about being a first-time home buyer. And it really is one of the best decisions that you can ever make. In fact, I'll share a little bit about my story and where it began in real estate as well. So let's dive right in, keep this nice and simple. And I know probably the first feeling most people feel when it comes to buying their first home is completely overwhelmed. Where do I start? Will I qualify? Will we even get a mortgage? How much money do we have to save? We have saved in order to do that? And all of those unknowns can become really overwhelming and confusing. And clarity is essentially where you're going to get the solutions and get yourself into that first home. So the whole point of this little class today is to really help to give you some clarity, help you understand the process, and realize how accessible buying your first home is. So, many first-time buyers experience confusion and stress when navigating the home buying process. Remember, you are not alone. Support is available each step of the way. And that is my job, essentially, as your real estate agent. My job is to support you the entire time from start to finish, getting organized to searching for houses. And we're going to look at that whole process here in this short video. So oftentimes I talk to first-time home buyers who are quite content to rent. And I think honestly that is a mistake. Now, if renting matches your current circumstances right now, totally makes sense. But I really want to encourage you to go from being a renter to a buyer and becoming a homeowner, because there really is some proven benefits. One is the opportunity to build equity. So owning a home allows you to build equity over time, turning your monthly payments into a valuable asset rather than just an expense each month. So when you are paying rent, you are paying somebody else's mortgage off. When you are paying a mortgage, you are growing the value between what you owe and the actual value of your property. Plus, your property value is going to go up over time. So it really is one of the absolute best investments that anyone can make. Now, in addition to that, it gives you control over your home. Home ownership gives you complete control over your living space, enabling you to customize, renovate, and maintain your home according to your preferences and needs. You don't have to get permission if you want to do a renovation or do some updates. And you never have to worry about being, when you own your home, a lot of times renters have to worry about, well, is the landlord going to sell the property? And I often tour rental properties that are for sale with buyers. And let me tell you, it's super inconvenient to the tenants. They have to leave, or they're having their privacy invaded. And they really have no choice. They have to agree to allow people through with enough notice. So it really gives you more control and security over your own environment as well. And essentially, it builds long-term wealth. Investing in real estate can lead to substantial long-term wealth creation, as property values typically appreciate, providing financial security and potential profits in the future. I always tell clients this is your security for your future. A lot of people, when they retire and they decide to sell their property or downsize, they're living off of that money that they have basically invested in that property. And as the property value grows, they're also gaining more money as well from that. So it really is one of the smartest decisions that you can make. And just continuing, obviously, there's more stability. Home ownership provides lasting stability for families and individuals. Obviously, there's a sense of pride as well, especially when you have a home and you make it your own. And, for some people, they're buying fixer-uppers, and by the time that project is done, the home is absolutely beautiful. And it's such a great thing to experience in life. And of course, it offers security. A personal home ensures long-term security for you and your family as well. So just a couple of notes here around home ownership. If you're not already convinced, home ownership offers freedom, stability, and a greater opportunity to build wealth. In fact, you can buy one property, and after a few years, as you've paid that property down, you can actually use the equity from that property to invest in another property. So you really have to get into that first property in order to even have an opportunity like that. The average homeowner's net worth is 40 times that of the average renter. So think about that. If that doesn't make getting into your own home a priority, I don't know what's going to. And start investing in your first home, remembering that every payment you make is an investment. You're not giving that money away. You are investing in your own wealth. So very, very important to understand the differences there. And, I remember being overwhelmed, somewhat confused, just uncertain when we bought our first home. In fact, I was 21 years old with my first home, and we had to borrow our money for our down payments, but we were able to get in. We paid back the person who lent us the money for the down payment. And when we got into that home and owned it, I just remember feeling so much pride and so much security. And let me just share with you, we sold that home a couple years later, made a considerable amount of money off that investment, moved into a bigger, better home, didn't have to necessarily substantially increase our mortgage. Like I think it grew very minimally. And then we lived in that home, and then we sold that and we bought another home, and we then sold that home, and we bought the home that we're currently in. And every time we've sold our homes, we have made money, and that money has helped us move into a better home that essentially is worth more money. So it really is, the goal is just to get into that first home as soon as you can. And I remember thinking, when I bought my first home, I'm going to live here forever. Most often, the first home you buy, you're only going to be in for a few years. Your goal is to get into the market, to own property. And then once you're there, then you can make improvements or just pay down the mortgage and then make that move a few years later. So my job as your real estate agent is to support you throughout the entire process from start to finish. I'm going to connect you with professionals like mortgage brokers. So if you are not already pre-approved for a mortgage, I'm going to help you do that. We'll get you set up as a client. We'll then connect you with mortgage professionals who are going to go and shop for the best mortgages for you and get you pre-approved. That's going to give us some parameters to allow us to start to search for homes that meet your criteria and also fit within your budget so that it's still affordable for you. As we view those homes, now we might view 2 or 3 homes and find the right home. We might view homes over a matter of months in order to find the right fit. And there's no pressure. It really is about finding that property that you are going to want to move into and live inside. I have had some first-time home buyers who continue to live at home, and they own a property that they are renting out and earning a little bit of money that way too. So there's a few different options for first-time buyers, but we'll match you with the right property based on your goals and your criteria, and I'll educate you the entire time. As we go and see properties together, it's going to give me the opportunity to really understand what truly matters to you as reviewing properties, and I'll also be able to educate you on different homes, on their styles, the age. We'll look at things that might need to be updated versus things that are maybe brand new in a home. And it really just becomes a wonderful education opportunity for you so that you are really learning and growing in your confidence in selecting the right property. The home search process really is very simple. Once you're set up as a client and we have your pre-approvals, I'll then start emailing you listings, and you can send me listings as well. And these listings will be specific to what you're looking for. Now, our team works specifically with on-market and off-market properties. So some properties you'll see available online on the MLS, but we also have access to properties that are considered exclusive, meaning they're not available to the public online yet, and we can share some information on those properties as well. We'll schedule the home tours, we'll look at properties until we find the right one, and we'll talk about important considerations, things that you need to keep in mind if we're looking at a property that might need a new roof or new windows, we'll look at the cost for that and we can help you price that out so that you know going in with that property, if you're interested in it, what the cost could be associated once you move in. So we really are going to look at a bunch of different things. Once you find the right property, then we're going to negotiate together, and essentially you're going to direct me in writing your offer, but I'm going to give you some guidelines in putting together a competitive offer. And we're going to write an offer together that will include conditions. And those conditions might be things like financing, making sure that your pre-approval for that mortgage doesn't mean that you're approved for that property. So we're going to make sure we have a condition for financing so that you have time to go through that process. You might have a home inspection, which I always strongly recommend. So we'll have a condition for home inspection, and there might be other conditions that are important to you that we will write into your offer, while also working hard to make it appealing to the seller so that they wish to negotiate. Now, when we write an offer, the seller might accept that offer as written, or what happens in most cases is the seller will negotiate back. They'll come back and say, okay, I see what you are looking for. Here's what I'm looking for. And our goal is to negotiate to a place where both sides are happy. Now, once we have a conditionally accepted offer, then I'm going to walk you through the entire conditional period. I'm going to help you move through the conditional period with financing, with home inspection. We'll get the documents over to your mortgage broker. I have very highly recommended home inspectors. We'll connect you with one of them. I will actually be at the home inspection, whether you attend or not. You'll get a full report. You'll go through that with the home inspector. And if you have other conditions, I'll walk you through those as well. And if you are satisfied, then you will fulfill those conditions with a notice of fulfillment. And from there, you will have a firm deal, and we will then get all of the information and paperwork over to your lawyer, who will then take your deal to a close. Now, I am still with you until you close and even after you close, because I am your support person for real estate. So I'm going to help if any questions come up or we need any documents or anything needs to happen. I'm going to help support you, including even taking you for a final walkthrough just before close to make sure everything looks perfect before you close on your first property. So it's really not that complicated. I know it can feel overwhelming, but again, remember, my job is to support you from start to finish. All you need to do is decide that you want to purchase a home. We'll get some searches set up, get you set up as a client, and then I'll support you through the entire process right to close. All right, so here's the 10 steps. Now remember, you don't need all the answers now. Let's start with a conversation to create your personalized plan, and then I'll guide you through each of the steps. But this is a really simple pathway here. You'll find this in the Real Estate Hub as well. It's uploaded as an image. One, you want to decide that you're going to buy. And once you make that decision, whether it happens in the next month or 10 months or 10 years, once you made the decision, then we can start to move you through the process. And hopefully it doesn't take you 10 years. Then you're going to connect with me and we are going to set you up as a client, or I'm going to help support your friends or family member who's interested. We'll then make sure that we have the pre-approval for financing done. We'll build a profile of the property that you're looking for, and we'll start to search until we find that home. Once we find that home, we'll write an offer that's competitive and compelling for the seller. And once we get a negotiate and accepted offer, we'll go through the due diligence, the conditional period. And then once that's done, you'll firm up, and I will support you through until close and after, and close is the day that you get the keys. So it really is a simple process, and it's just going step by step. And again, it is my job to support you through that, because the reality is there is no place like your own home. And my job is to help you find that and get moved into it. So I just want to thank you for taking the time to watch this. I hope you found it valuable. If you are watching on YouTube, feel free to add me as a friend on Facebook, and you can send me a message on Facebook or Instagram. I'm here, Instagram, Alyssa Harriman, and I can connect you in with the Real Estate Hub group so that you can get caught up on any of the past classes and stay up to date on market updates and all of the great things that happen inside that community. I hope you have an absolutely amazing day, and we'll talk to you soon.